Okay, welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Today, Dave and I are going to talk about the DCU moving forward. You know, we've been pretty Marvel heavy lately, so we wanted to talk about some DC stuff. And remember, if you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you'll be notified of future videos.
Okay, so first I want to start off with the movies that have been announced for the DCU. Later on, we'll get into what I'd like to see and maybe what you'd like to see. But here's what they actually have in the pipe. They have Aquaman
Coming this December.
coming this December. I have little hope for this movie because it was filmed before Justice League and before the backlash from Justice League. They didn't, they already had set in stone what they were going to do. So I'm a little skeptical.
Well, I think understandably, they don't have a great track record right now, but, I think James Wan, I think he'll do a good job. I like the fact that Black Manta is the villain in this, but everything is dependent on seeing some footage.
Which hasn't been released yet, which is crazy. Maybe they're doing some rewrites. Who knows? Yeah. But, yeah. The next one after that, and set for February of 2019,
April.
I believe. April now?
Yep.
Is Shazam, which, I was never into Shazam. I didn't read it. I don't really care, so I'm expecting very little from it. So usually if you go into a movie expecting very little, you're usually surprised and you like it. So I'm hoping that happens here.
Yeah, I've always liked Shazam. He's a great hero. Want to see how they handle it. It's supposed to be a little more lighthearted, and if they handle that well, could be extremely well. So once again, see some footage, and we'll kind of see where we're going from there.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, November next year?
Correct.
Is Wonder Woman 2. And with Cheetah as the villain, I believe they got, who they get the player? Kristen Wiig?
Kristen Wiig, yep.
Yeah. So that looks like a winner already. They don't have too much turnover from the last movie as far as director and main staff.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins is coming back. Obviously, Gail is back as Wonder Woman. I think Kristen Wiig as Cheetah is a very interesting choice. I hope it pans out, and I trust Patty and the crew right now because the first one was so good. And now we also have, so those are the movies that we know are coming.
Yeah.
And then we have a whole slate of movies that they've kind of announced, but no date yet of release. We have The Flash, which we'll talk about in a little bit, kind of hoping for Flashpoint, Cyborg, and we've heard some news of late that he may be in trouble because Ray Fisher isn't happy with his character. Then we got Green Lantern Corps, Suicide Squad 2, and the initial rumor of Black Adam being the villain in it, I guess is false now, so The Rock's Black Adam won't show up there. The Batman, Justice League Dark, Batgirl, Black Adam, New Gods, Justice League 2, and that was kind of announced before Justice League didn't do so well at the box office. Man of Steel 2, Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn, Gotham City Sirens, Nightwing, Deathstroke, and 2 Joker movies. 2 standalone Joker movies. One with Joaquin Phoenix and one with Jared Leto's Joker. And honestly, I really wish they would just have a Batman versus the Joker movie instead of this. So, a ton has been announced. There's also a few rumors we wanted to talk about that have coming into San Diego Comic-Con. The first being is that's when we'll see that Aquaman trailer. Hope it's true. Hope it knocks our socks off, because I think this movie has a shot of being really good.
And that's in August, right? So that's kind of late even
July.
for that. It's July?
Yeah, late July.
I thought it was, late July.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And, that makes sense because Batman versus Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League all got their first trailers announced or shown at San Diego Comic-Con. We also heard a Shazam teaser will be there. That'd be nice to see. Just some quick footage. It's coming out in April. It'd be nice to see something. And we're going to get some concept art from Wonder Woman, which some rumor is it's going to be called 1984, and it's going to be set in 1984. Jeff Johns had it as his Twitter picture, said WW84. Whether that's true or not, we don't know, but maybe we'll find out at San Diego Comic-Con.
I kind of don't get that. I mean, I know the first one was set in the 40s, and then they brought it back to real today with Justice League. Now they're going backwards in time again. I mean, I don't know. I kind of don't like that idea, but I'm sure it'll work out.
Yeah, it should be good. And then we've heard that Batman's director Matt Reeves and Ben Affleck are going to be there. I will kind of believe that when I see it. But maybe they will. Maybe they're going to announce when this film's coming out and give us some more details. And then finally, we've heard, and I pray this is true, that we're going to get an official slate of movies from WB for the DCU. And I think this is extremely needed because they've announced so many movies. You know, they're constantly saying new movies are coming out. You know, we just heard word about the Jared Leto Joker yesterday. I mean, they've announced so many movies, and I think they need to stop doing that for movies that are never going to see the light of day. I mean, I'd love to see most of these movies, but we don't need to hear about every project that has been pitched to WB.
Mm-hmm.
You know, lock down a schedule for the next couple of years, have them announced, and then continue to work behind the scenes for future content and announce them in due time. We really don't need to hear all that.
You know, I always compare it to Marvel in the way that they've handled things. Because when Marvel has a movie, like, all right, they announce it. And if they have a release date for something, but they don't exactly have the exact title or the movie yet, they'll say, all right, we got another one coming out then, but we don't know which one it's going to be. We'll tell you later. You know, you don't have to get it down. I know they're trying to raise excitement. That's what the goal is. But if you come out with no substance, it's not going to excite anybody. As far as I'm concerned, I think a total reboot would be necessary here. This is my view. I think they should just, like, I'll get to what I want in a second, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I love DC growing up. I was a DC guy. It seems like I'm more into Marvel now because, you know, they're just for their movies. I mean, the comics, all of them. I like all the comics. I mean, they seem to really know what they're doing. But in DC, the characters are larger than life.
They're more godlike.
Yeah, and even Batman, you know, his incredible intelligence gives him, in his incredible fortune, gives him the toys that he needs to defeat even Superman. You know, and what we need from Warner Brothers and the DCU is to make movies with a little bit more plot substance and character development than just action and big explosions and then, you know, a little bit of talking in between. You know, the idea for these movies, the outlining idea is pretty cool. You know, like the Justice League, it's pretty cool. I didn't like Steppenwolf being the villain for the first one. You know, they should team up and have a bigger villain because a lot of people didn't know who he was before the movie. But either way, it's a good idea for a movie, but they didn't execute it very well. There wasn't enough development there for people to get excited. Let me flip to my second page.
Well, and, you know, I think what would be good, you know, moving forward, whether they reboot it completely, do a soft reboot, you know, have it more in line with the characters that have, you know, stood the test of time. You know, Superman and Batman have been around 75, 80 years. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for that. And it's okay to have a darker tone when it fits the character. You know, Batman, Justice League Dark, Suicide Squad 2, those are all great examples of movies that can have a very dark tone. But when you get to a Superman movie, it shouldn't and can't be dark.
Yeah.
Because that's not his character. He is a beacon of hope for Earth. You know, he's what protects the Earth. And
the very symbol on his chest means hope.
Yeah. And I just thought that was a really bad direction to go with this character. Now, they have kind of turned it around at the end of Justice League after he was kind of reborn after being killed by Doomsday. So that's a good sign. I was glad they're moving in that direction.
Mm-hmm. And, well, I was mentioning earlier about the Flash. I mean, I know that they've got their own TV shows, Flash and Green Arrow, and maybe that'll hold them back in the movies. But they do have a Flash in the movie, so you can see what I'm saying here. Maybe a Flashpoint paradox where you can reset, and you can even create alternate timelines with something like that. You know, then you can start off, and then you can get like recasting the characters with people who are younger and new, you know, and so that they can stay longer in those roles, and then people can become attached. You know, that's just my thoughts.
No, I agree. You know, I've said many times, I think if they use Flashpoint as a means of soft rebooting the universe, I think it'd be great. Mm-hmm. If Ben Affleck wants out of the role, you know, let him out of the role. Get someone younger in. You know, go to, and I've said this since, you know, Batman versus Superman, I don't want a universe where there's already a dead Robin. I know they want to get to Red Hood. I know they have these things they want to line up, but take your time and build up to it. Mm-hmm. You know, recast, you know, Batman. Have it be a younger guy. Have Dick Grayson as Robin in the movie. You know, build up. Yeah, a teenager. Mm-hmm. Build up to Death in the Family, because if you do that right on film, it is going to be freaking just absolutely amazing. And they kind of skipped right past it to get, in my opinion, get to the Red Hood. As much as I love the Red Hood, and it'd be great to see him cinematically, take your time, get to it.
Basically, we're saying slow it down, do it right. Another thing that Warner Brothers does is they seem to like to have standalone movies. Like from what I understand, the Batman is a standalone movie. It's not related to the universe. Just like you said earlier with the Jared Leto and Joaquin Phoenix Joker movies are going to be standalone. I mean, you can do that, and you know if they're good, they're good. But if you have they all relate to the other things that are happening in the universe, you don't even have to. You can just drizzle in like little hints throughout the movie, or it doesn't even have to be a plot point. You know, you could throw it like a post-credit scene, and you're already leading up to something else. You don't have to make it a big part of the movie. But
you can make it in the same universe and not have any ties to anything else going on, and it can still be a good movie. You don't have to work too hard to make it a standalone outside of the universe, and you don't need to work too hard to make it part of the cinematic universe. Just make a good movie.
Exactly. And to me, if you do put it all in the same universe, you're eventually going to be printing your own money, because everybody loves to follow a continuous story. Well, at least I do. I don't know if everyone does, but I love it. And like for future Superman movies, I think that some good villains would be like Mongol. I know they didn't bring in Darkseid. I mean, I tend to stick with the ones they did on Smallville, because Smallville did such a great job with all their villains. And I like Lex Luthor as a villain, not Jesse Eisenberg though. Sorry, he's more of a Joker or something else. Give me a different villain.
Riddler,
in the
maybe.
universe. Who?
Riddler, maybe.
Yeah, he's a good Riddler, just not. He's not Lex Luthor. But not to say anything about his acting skill. But yeah, Darkseid was introduced in Smallville. I like Lex Luthor as a villain who doesn't he doesn't have to get arrested, or his story doesn't have to conclude after one movie. He could be a continuous villain who plays a main part without getting nabbed or killed.
He's a villain in a movie, but he's maybe not the main villain. You know, if he's Superman, maybe Brainiac shows up.
Yes.
And Superman's fighting him off, and Lex is in the background trying to, get information from Brainiac, maybe steal some of, his knowledge, whatever it is. They have so many stories they can do with Superman, and they can go really any way they want. They could, please recast Lex Luthor. They could have Lex Luthor as the main villain in the first one. Then you move on to Brainiac, and you get Mongrel, and you get Darkseid. We know there's a new Gods movie coming out.
Or even Metallo.
So, yeah.
I like Metallo.
Yeah, that's another great choice.
Was that your conclusion on Superman?
It was, yes.
Okay, with Batman, of course, we could start, you could start by telling a story. They seem to like to go into the past, like they're going with Wonder Woman. Why not do that with Batman, right? You can go back to you don't have to tell the origin story, but his early days. And who did he start off fighting in the early days? The mob. That was his original focus. So you can do a movie with him and Carmine Falcone. And I don't know remember the other mobster's name right now. But it could be you could make a lot out of that.
I mean, think of his rogues. Batman has some of the best rogues in the world. You got Joker, you got Riddler, you got Penguin, you got the Black Mask, you got the Red Hood. You have all of these options to choose from. And I think, honestly, I don't think they can go wrong as long as they stay true to the hero and the villain. It's going to be an amazing movie. I would like to see it be a little more detective-esque,
right?
Because he is the world's greatest detective. Have that, and you can throw anyone in there. I think the villain is the easiest thing to pick for a Batman movie because there's so many great ones.
And then then there's Catwoman. She's works for herself. She works both sides of the story, whatever suits her. And the reason I like the Batman comics, I think I have more of those than anything else, even more than Deadpool, is that they seem to incorporate all of their characters into every story. It isn't like this is a Joker story, this is a Red Hood story. They seem to incorporate everybody into everything, and they do it so well. So there's no reason they can't translate that to a movie, I don't think.
I agree. I think they get the right writers on it, and I think the Batman is going to be a multi-billion-dollar hit.
Yeah. The next is The Flash. We've gone over that. Flashpoint Paradox is what I want to see.
And, even if they don't go that route, which we hope they do, once again, The Flash has some amazing villains. And even though we've seen them on the television show, I mean, they got such a great rogues gallery to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
They just pick one, pick two. It'll be great. Just get it done.
Green Lantern, we know the Green Lantern Corps is coming, and we know there's been multiple Green Lanterns, so you can choose Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, John Stewart, and there's even
Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner, and then there's one more that.
Well, there's Jessica Cruz and Sal. I can't remember his name, but yeah, they've had 5 or 6 Earth Green Lanterns. You could have any of them. You know, maybe Hal was the former. Maybe Jessica Cruz will be the lead for Green Lantern Corps. But you know, maybe Sinestro is already out there, or maybe Sinestro is about to be powered up. Once again, I think they have so many ways they can go with this. The sky's the limit. I mean, they've been making Green Lantern comics for 50 years.
Yeah.
They got some great stories to choose from.
Green Arrow, of course, the popularity of the TV show might prohibit him being in the movie because no one's going to want to see anybody but Stephen Amell in that role right now, I don't think. So, but I think he's a key member of the Justice League that, you know, he might deserve a shot. Maybe he could, Stephen Amell could do a movie. Who knows? But
I'd be down for that.
And my last one is if we wanted to reset everything, and they could do this at any point. They could make movies for 20 years and then do this and then keep going. It's Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's just a basic reset button right there.
And they could, if they do decide to go the soft reboot with Flashpoint now and start changing some things up a little bit. You know, you get 15 years down the road and some of the actors are ready to leave their roles, kind of like we're having with Marvel with some contracts running out.
Yeah.
Boom, Crisis on Infinite Earths completely reboots everything, new actors, new everything. You're back to point one. You have, once again, millions of stories to choose from.
Yeah.
So please, Warner Brothers,
get on the
make
horse.
it happen.
Yeah.
But not too quickly. Take your time and build it up.